Mr. John Howell.
Thank you, Madam President. This report makes a number of requirements on countries which are hosting refugees or where refugees are presenting themselves. And it points to the way in which some countries are quite openly violating the rights of refugees. It points to inhuman and degrading treatment of refugees, the stealing of their belongings, depriving them of food, and depriving them of basic services. In the name of humanity, I ask, are we able to stand here and say that we are going to do nothing to be able to tackle those? We also have to put in place the ways in which we can monitor these things. But having said all of that, I would just raise one additional point of additional thinking that I think perhaps needs to go on in this, and I think the rapporteur did allude to this in her opening speech. These activities, in some cases, are going to require resources. They're going to require some, amongst other things, some additional money. And we need to understand the position of countries receiving refugees and see what collectively we can do. In the debate that preceded this, I singled out Jordan for praise because of the way in which it has tackled the refugee problem. It is already an aid-dependent country, but I don't think that that should be said as a criticism of Jordan. It should be said as a proof that we are actively, as a community, supporting a country that is already tackling refugees. So one of the things that I would like to see on the back of this is an assessment of the resources and of the costs that are involved. We need to make sure that, as in the case of Jordan, that we do have enough resources to be able to carry these out, and that we have enough NGOs to be able to undertake the work. A good example of this is the case of Italy, which is facing not just the traffic from Libya at the moment, but it is also facing the potential of huge amounts of traffic from Africa in the future if we do not get that country's economies right. I don't believe we can simply sit back and just exhort the countries to do better. I think we have to look at the resources that we require and the finances that we require, and we have to come up with the means of achieving those finances and those resources in order to give this report some real teeth.